Hi everyone, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a tutorial video about how I repaint dolls and what I use. So first off, I'm going to use this Draculaura head. She is a spare head that I've, well, her neck broke, so I couldn't get that out. So I'm just going to use her. I've cleaned her face. I had used pencils on her before just to get an understanding of what pencils I could and couldn't use. So I'm going to seal her with MSC, Mr. Super Clear, to show you what I use. So here's the Derwent Watercolour pencils. I use these ones and I think they're the best. They're a really good quality pencil. And now here are a cheaper version, this is like a budget version of colour pencils, and this is going to show you why you need to invest in the medium that you use. So Derwent watercolours can be considered expensive. These ones were about $17 and they're watercolour pencils, but these are not great pencils. So I'm just going to show you the different quality that you get from different quality pencils. And these ones were even cheaper. So I know some people like to save, but when it comes to repainting dolls and wanting people to pay a particular price for their doll, I mean, you put a lot of work and effort into it, so you know you want to be rewarded for it. But I'm going to show you why you need to consider investing in this hobby if this is what you want to do. So let me get her sealed and I will show you the difference between cheap, mediumly cheap, and what we call an investment when we want to make sure our dolls are a good quality. Okay, so let me just go spray her. Okay, so here she is. She has been sealed, so she's not as shiny anymore and she has a bit of a texture to her face. So what I'm going to do to start with is we're going to start with the super cheap ones. I can't even remember how much they were, but they've got artist colour pencils, artist drawing pencils, watercolour pencils, charcoal pencils, and metallic coloured pencils in here. So it's a bit of everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get a good pigment. So the reason we use watercolour pencils, now this is it, this is the no-name kind of brand. The reason we use watercolour pencils is because their leads are a lot softer and there's a lot more pigment in each of the leads. So when it draws onto the plastic, it actually draws on with a lot more colour to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test a light colour and a darker colour. So I'm going to test yellow and I'm going to test blue. Blue usually is a really good pigment. So let's go with the yellow. So we're going to use her whole face. There's no drawing today. We're just going to test pencils. So this is a cheaper version and I haven't done this before with these ones, but I did previously, but not with these pencils. So we're just going to draw in her cheek. So there's the first one. There's the yellow. And there's the blue. So it's a little bit light and it's a bit grainy. So when I draw on, it's actually quite grainy and spotty with the leads. So just so that we're keeping in our colour chart. Okay, so the next one I'm going to start with Montmartre. This is also a budget brand, let's just say. So as you can see, it was $26 and I got it for $17. So it's quite reasonably priced. My daughter uses these, so I'm going to go for blue and yellow again so we can test the quality. So when I drew with these pencils, it felt quite chalky. So we'll do yellow up here. And this one feels really quite scratchy. And we'll do blue over here. And same with this one, so it feels quite scratchy. I feel like I'm scratching the MSC, like the Mr. Super Clear, off. And again, it's quite rough. So that's the Montmartre ones. So the reason we don't use normal coloured pencils, like just standard colour pencils, and the reason they're watercolour is because the leads are softer. They're designed to dissolve with water, whereas the standard pencils are not designed to dissolve, so their leads are a lot harder, which is again why we use watercolour. So here are the Derwents. This is what I choose to use. So whereas the Montmartre cost around about, you know, $17 to $26, watercolours can cost a lot more, between $50 to $60, even $100. I just bought the 72 set, and that pushed me back a pretty penny. So, but I like to invest in my pencils and my artwork. So these are the Derwent Watercolour. So both of them, blue and yellow, again, to test the same colours. So yellow, as you can see, glides on really nice. It's really soft, and check out the pigment of that. You can see it straight away, and it's not scratchy. It is so smooth. And the blue, there's a huge difference. So you can see the Derwent colours are a lot richer in colour. They're smooth, they're not scratchy. So I know it's an expensive hobby, but you get what you pay for, basically. So just seeing the different marks on their faces. So we'll do it again. So I'll just draw once. These are the cheaper ones. I'll draw this one on this side. These are the Montmartre pencils. And these are the Derwent pencils. Okay, so that crumbled because I pressed a little hard, and they are going to crumble because they are quite soft. But as you can see, hopefully my light's bright enough, but even with the blue you can see the difference in the colours. So that's why I will always strongly recommend to buy and invest in the pencils that you use. I do have a couple of other brands like Faber-Castell. So let me just grab one of those so you can see that kind of quality. Oh, I've also got Inktense. So Derwent also do Inktense pencils, which are an even deeper, richer colour. So sometimes I use those because the colours aren't all available in the watercolour. So I don't have a yellow in the Faber-Castell watercolour, but I do have the blue. So we'll just draw along with those just so that we can see. So that's the Faber-Castell, and this is the Inktense. Again, it's a different colour, but as you can see, the difference between the Derwents and all the other pencils, to me, there's no comparison. So I love Derwents. I think that they're amazing. They're beautiful colours. But to get a variety of colours, I also do use the Faber-Castells. So I hope that helps. Just a short video on pencils and the pencils that I choose to use. Thanks, and I hope that was helpful.